I sent an invite to Boobus to see if he wanted to join in. But I planned on doing this anyway. Hey, everybody, I'm TJ. That's Rage. We're doing a WrestleMania Night 1 recap for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm currently in Texas. It's a brisk 68 degrees here. Rage is in Illinois, a little closer to Philly.
It's fucking cold.
Oh, okay. So we have a temperature there. Currently in Philadelphia, the night started off at 51 degrees with a 14-degree wind chill factor, and it just continued to dip down and dip down and dip down and dip down all night. So
and some of the outfits that some of these workers were wearing, the fuck?
I'll tell you what, I was waiting for Dakota Kai to show us a little bit more than what she thought she had. With as little as she was wearing and as cold as it was, and they were outside, she should have been cutting glass.
Yeah, Dakota's kind of wild like that. But no, there's a lot of things about tonight. Just
dude, I mean, one of probably the greatest nights of wrestling that I've seen in 20 years. I want to start off, before we even get into talking about the matches, I put a Facebook post up earlier tonight where I said, if I could pick 3 people to be here with me to watch this tonight, you would have been one of them, because we would have been reminded of 20 years ago.
Oh, God, we would have had.
Oh, God. Only now, instead of it being, only this time, instead of it being burgers and brats and the cheapest stuff we could get, dude, I was cooking steaks that thick. I mean, yeah. No, we would have been.
We would have been fed. Hold on. We'd been fed unless Ray got to the food before we did.
Oh, no. Ray got the he got the lap band. He's not eating as much as he used to.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't know he got banded.
Oh, dude, he's coming down on weight a lot. I'm happy for him, man. I'd like to see him make it
without the band.
I would like to see him make it another 30 years, you know? So Steve was the other one. Ray and Steve were the other two I said I would love to have had here, because Ray would have loved it just as much as we did. And Steve, we probably wouldn't have understood half of what Steve had to say, and he might have shit on my couch, but he would have enjoyed the show.
Sorry, I couldn't have the infamous Mark known as Steve show up and be all like,
but I mean, like, there was
you what?
Well, there was all sorts of back and forth about it, and then Bubba comes into my Facebook page. He goes, "What? You wouldn't have invited me?" And I'm like, "No, Bubba, I don't think I would have had to invited you, because we all know if you pay attention. Well, if you pay attention to the Morning Disaster, I wouldn't have had to invite him, because Bubba would have been sitting outside in his van jacking off."
That way. Let's go. Out.
He said, "You will acknowledge me."
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so there's Steve. Steve's already saying it was a great show tonight. I absolutely have to agree. Probably one of
the is in all.
What the hell, Rage?
I didn't do it.
I didn't do shit.
Yeah, someone typed in and said, It's Taylor Wyndham. He's fucking with us.
Might have been. Now I have to. All right. So they did during the show tonight. They did do the tribute to Bray Wyatt, which was great. I thought that it was wonderful. The minute I heard "Let me in," I'm looking around, because I was cooking while I was watching the show, because the front of my coach is all TV, right? Mm-hmm. Which makes it easy for me anywhere in the front of the coach to do what I need to do while I've got it on. First show on the card tonight, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, for the Raw Women's World title.
Yeah, basically. So
yeah.
So
to me, I thought it was a great way to open up the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really was. Now, what would have topped that in iconicism would be if Bull Nakano would have been special guest referee for it.
That could have worked.
Obviously, or Alundra Blaze.
Alundra Blaze would have been better. So
I could go either way. They had a great feud in the early era.
So to kind of go into this, they said at the beginning of the program that Becky was there with strep. At one point in time today, she was running 104-degree fever and still went out and
she
put
was
on
at 102. The minute before she walked out the ring, they scanned her. She was at 102.
Right.
Yeah. And she still did that kind of performance.
She still just gave one hell of a show. You could tell it was affecting her. She was not up to normal speed. Rhea did retain.
Rhea stayed who she is.
Yeah. So, now I've got to mention this right up front. Rage and I talk about these shows when I'm going to watch a PLE. We talk about them for a week in advance, and we give each other predictions. Now, yesterday, Rage said Rhea, I said Becky.
And I was going to stick with Rhea.
And then today you changed it to Becky, kind of following my logic with it.
I followed your logic, but I was still pro Rhea.
Yeah,
because no one else from the Judgment Day was going over for shit.
No, which leads us into probably one of the funniest matches of the night.
the
six-man ladder. Yes, the ladder tag match. That match had comedy, it had drama, it had everything coming at you.
All right, we're starting my happy.
There was even one point in that match where I stood up out of my chair and I'm like, "Gore!"
There was a point in the match to where I died laughing, and that was when Truth went for the pinfall, and then 1, 2, 3, he jumps up,
and then Miz is like, "No, we got to get him from up there." No, started.
The winners of the match, of that match, because 2 different tag teams pulled down the sets of belts.
And they finally re-separated the titles, which I wanted them to do last year, but I think the way they did that this year was fitting. And now you're back to SmackDown and Raw tag titles.
Just one of the teams really didn't fit. I'm not a fan of them. And they are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Oh.
Grayson.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
Yeah, what is it? A-Town Down Under or some shit like that.
Crap like that. Like,
but the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The new Raw Tag Team Champions bringing it back to the old school ways of the days. And that is the Awesome Truth. The Truth climbed up a ladder, which he never did in Money in the Bank because he has a fear of heights, legitimately. And the Truth never won at Mania. After all these years, he finally wins at Mania. Hallelujah, praise White Jesus.
Dude, I was actually okay, so Steve said he picked Rhea this morning. I was actually sitting there like, oh, please, come on, let Truth win it. Let Truth win it. And when he got him, and I mean, you could see, his first win at Mania, and he just broke down, falling on Miz's shoulder.
I will tell you now, those 2 teams were not the teams I even put in the same level of the ones who I thought were taking them. I honestly thought the Raw tag titles were getting taken by DIY.
I really thought DIY had a great shot at it. I knew they were.
Ciampa and Gargano, 2 of the greatest unsung heroes in this business.
And
I
what a
watched that.
performance they put on tonight.
Oh, they put on. Anytime they touch a ring, they put on a performance like no other.
Yeah.
Like you can't fuck with them when they're in the ring. I was at an independent show and watched Tommaso Ciampa right before he leaves for the E, goes to war with Rough Crossing. And it was just one of those mind-blowing matches, like, holy shit.
Right.
And then he goes in tonight, and the shit they were doing tonight,
golden.
top notch.
Golden.
And now the other team who I thought was going to win, the SmackDown titles, the New Catch Republic.
You know what? They put on a hell of a show as well. New Catch Republic,
as you know, I'm a huge Pete Dunne fan.
Right.
And Tyler Bates, he's one of the great British wrestlers of now.
Yeah.
And he does it with such fluidness and such technique. I thought they were going to give him the rub and, hey, go get the SmackDown titles.
It would not surprise me to see them go back to SmackDown and then Hunter have it wrote in such a way that Theory and Waller got it and then they immediately drop it on Friday.
Either to the New Catch Republic or other teams that weren't able to be in the ladder match.
Well, pretty
AOP,
right?
AOP, the Street Profits.
Yeah, but Street Profits are in action tomorrow night.
This is true, but they weren't in it tonight. Legado El Fantasmo.
Yeah.
And then the LWO boys. You know, none of them were in the tag match. Now they actually have, because most of those teams are SmackDown.
Right.
Most of the SmackDown competitors have because SmackDown has a bigger tag team talent pool.
Yeah, they do.
Raw really doesn't have tag teams, and they really need to start getting some together up there.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. They've got the longer show. They better take advantage.
Yeah, because if you had a 3-hour show and all you're focusing on is your IC, your women, and your heavyweight, tag team art, like I've said for years, is a dying art.
It is. Which brings me around to our next match we're going to discuss, which was Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar versus Dominic Mysterio or Rey Mysterio, the Hall of Famer, and
Andrade.
That
Andre El Idolo, as he was called in other companies, and his wife was watching.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you what, I was really shocked by how well that match really went.
Oh, that match. Well, you got to understand, all four of them worked down in Mexico together. Even Dom, as a little kid, was training with Andrade and Santos and his dad and the Guerreros.
Right. I mean, I think it went really well. I would have loved to have seen Dom get spanked again this year.
That would have been funny, but they took it a little more serious this year.
Right. They really did. And then
the only thing I did not like about that match was the finish.
The ending.
Yep, the finish I did not like. You have two Philadelphia Eagles jumping over the barricades and muggle fucking Dom. I'm sorry. That would be a heel move to do, not the faces.
I've got to give
that kind of tainted it.
But I've got to give the E a little bit of credit because they're really going in a different direction. And again, this is where we're blurring the lines of what tradition is now. And I love the fact that they're doing that.
I would have loved to seen it if someone was going to get involved. Damn it, let Carlito bite the fuck out of that apple,
That would
chew
have been
that
great
bitch up
too.
and spit it right in their face.
I mean, I even heard Michael Cole today say pissed.
Dude, I heard the word fuck
come out of
on air.
Michael Cole.
Well, not just Michael Cole, Dwayne.
Yep.
But next one, let's
all right,
go.
So,
let's keep it in succession.
We'll keep going here. So after that one we had, let me see if my memory is going to serve me correctly. It was it was a 6-pack challenge or
the 6-woman tag.
6-woman tag match, and that was Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Yes, and I knew where that was going, even though I wanted Damage Control to win because I'm very huge fan of both Asuka and Kairi.
Right.
Dakota, she's warm, I'm warming up to her, but I don't think Dakota should be in that faction with Io, Kairi, and Asuka. Let it be. If it's going to be
the slice she's kind of like a slice of white bread in a Chinese restaurant.
Very much so. White rice is being served up in that bitch.
I have got to agree with Steve on this. Very muscular woman, but goddamn, Jade Cargill is hot.
Jade Cargill, to me, is someone who got overhyped from her WNBA stint, got pulled over to AEW because of Shaq, and Shaq and Cody being such good friends, gave her a push. She fucking became a fucking shit worker. If you go back and watch some of her AEW matches, no wonder Triple H and them had to reprogram her down to the Performance Center.
And I'm not at all surprised by that. Now I was really waiting for Dakota, with as little as she was wearing and how cold it was outside. I was waiting for Dakota Kai to try the titty poke of doom.
If she would have done that, I would have probably marked out.
If she would have done that, I would have fell over laughing.
Yeah. Sort of like, did you watch Nathan Frazier and that masked dude against Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin?
No, I did not catch the NXT show.
No. This is a match that's happened. One was up on the shoulders, and when the other one went for the crossbody, basically they were going to do a doomsday. No, it was Otis and Tozawa.
Okay.
Freaking Tozawa went for the crossbody. Braun caught him in midair and backflipped.
Damn.
Yeah. Like Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, I'm sorry, if the main roster don't keep those two as a tag team, they're highly fucking up because they're on some next level type shit.
Right. But I mean, like I said, it did turn out kind of where I thought it was going to go with the 6-woman tag match.
Yeah, Cargill, they pushed her straight to the moon. They were going to
push her.
Because I guarantee it's going to be Jade Cargill coming down the road looking for Rhea or Io.
Yes. And I'm thinking, just with her size, I think she's going to aim Rhea.
Welcome to WWE, Jade. You're about to get mud stomped.
Yeah. Rhea will chew her up and spit her out.
Yeah, because you know what they always say.
She's the eradicator.
Mommy's always on top.
Mommy can be on top of me.
Hey-o.
Yeah! Next match.
That one bounced off the right field wall.
The next match on the card tonight, I have to honestly admit, I was really disappointed in. I expected a lot more. It was hyped up a lot more. And that was brother versus brother, Jay versus Jimmy Uso.
I mean, the match, the winner, I called it. It was going to be Team Yeet.
We called that one all week.
He had too much momentum going behind him. And think about it. Look what Jimmy has fucked Jay out of. He fucked him out of the heavyweight title against Roman.
Yep.
Then turns around and fucks him out of the Intercontinental title against Gunther.
Right.
And it was like, okay, you're going to keep fucking him. He about to fuck you back.
And he fucked him back tonight. And, here's the part. Of course, Jimmy pulled, like, the ultimate heel move. We saw it tonight. Ultimate heel move.
I'm your brother. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, here's a fist in the nose.
Yeah.
All right. Rage knows me as well as about anybody. If I'm going to do something fucked up, I'm going to piss on your shoes and I'm going to do it right in front of your face. Right or wrong?
Ask Toby about that one.
Yeah, right.
Those shoes were soaked. Those shoes were soaked. Steve, if you end up getting in our way, your shoes get soaked too.
Oh, God. I don't care. I will say it straight to your face. I don't hide anything. But not long and the short of it, that was the one of the matches I was really looking forward to tonight.
And got called in.
And yeah, it was phoned in from the fucking parking lot. This was not.
I don't even think the parking lot. I think that it was. Oh no, the parking lot. Way down the road at the truck stop, about 5 miles down. Take a right. You're heading on the interstate, and there's this nice little town with a truck stop. That's where it got called in from.
Well, I mean, it was either there or the Gorilla Monsoon room.
Oh, ouch. But I guarantee one thing.
That looks like a match that was called in by the final boss. That was not called in by Triple H.
And I guarantee Rikishi's chewing some ass right now.
Oh, yeah, because that match was... It wasn't up to what we expected out of the Usos.
But also, they're warm climate kind of guys. Wrestling outside in the cold, if you're used to being a warm, that's like football. You take Dallas, put them in Minnesota, they have a hard time.
Right. Now, I'm going to say...
You're taking guys that are used to heated locker rooms, used to heated buildings, and you're putting them right out in the middle of the field there in Philly. Fuck you. They ain't going to fucking go 200%.
Correct.
They'll go about maybe 150, 130, but Jimmy and Jay took it back down to like 75.
Well, and I'm going to say that I really do, looking at that match and kind of looking back at it now, I really feel like Jay carried the match.
Jay carried the match.
Jimmy just showed up for like one thing, and then Jay really did carry the match the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah. The older brother did carry the match. I mean, obviously.
Jay's the younger brother.
No, I was thinking Jim.
Jimmy's older.
Sorry,
brother.
they're twins. I kind of get them confused.
They're 9 minutes apart. So, no. I do, like I said, the one that's on the roll, the one that has proven that he could be a singles competitor, the one that has proven that he's got the salt, carried the match. Because look at it. Jimmy had the chance to go on this ride with Jay and to be there, and instead went back into the Bloodline storyline. And that's not only a whole storyline thing, it's a shoot as well, because they gave him the choice to either get out of the Bloodline topic himself and go with Jay, because Jay was done. Jay was legitimately done. He was not going to be there, and Cody talked him into coming back on Raw as a singles competitor.
Because to be honest, he was going to go with his wife to Impact.
Yeah. But that also goes to show you, when we start getting into my predictions for tomorrow and where my predictions were at today and why, that's also going to show you where I'm at as far as Cody himself, because Cody is a locker room leader. He knows how to talk to the front office because he's been there. He knows how to talk to the locker room, and he's such a fantastic intermediary. They've got to.
That's why I also think that AEW's gone to shit, is because Cody ain't in that locker room fixing things like Jack Perry and CM Punk.
Right. Because if Cody had been there, Jack Perry and CM Punk never would have happened. However, on the flip, we never would have had CM Punk returning at Survivor Series and blowing the roof off of Chicago. So everything I think happens for a reason.
Yeah, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball hard with Punk at AEW. So surprise, surprise, he goes home to where he belongs.
Well, they dropped the ball with Punk at AEW, and then Punk picks up the phone and he calls to Cody. Cody puts it on a conference call with Hunter. Punk realizes the problem was not Hunter.
And failed for marijuana.
It was Vince.
The problem was, Mr. Pattyfingers, who owned the company at the time. And he gave it a shot with Hunter. And now he even said in the pre-show today, he's loving how Hunter's doing it.
I honestly think that Vince being gone from the product has been the best thing for the product.
It absolutely has been, because we've seen things happen.
Yeah, because
it should have happened years ago.
In the next match,
yes,
it wouldn't happen the way it happened.
Exactly.
If Vince was still in control, the Intercontinental title between Gunther and Sami Zayn, it would have stayed on Gunther, but it finally, after 2 years of doing nothing but eating shit after shit after shit, giving them a small little tag team run, Sammy and Kevin, ate shit on that one. Kevin got hurt.
Yeah.
Jay got brought in, and it was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, I gotta say that there are a few things that happen with that. The Intercontinental title, I really did feel like it was going to go to Sammy. You were saying Gunther, I was saying Sammy.
I would say one of two ways, because if Sammy would have got it, it would have been, a Chad Gable thing. They're going to end up going head to head. But
that's what I'm thinking, that's where it's going to go.
But if Gunther would have kept it, he would have had big old Bronson Reed right behind.
Oh, that's right. Bronson Reed would have been next.
Yeah, because Bronson already said he's keeping his eyes on the Intercontinental title match.
Right.
And Bronson Reed is not one of those little, ho-ass wrestlers who, I'm going to keep my eye on this match, but I'll forget about it 5 minutes later.
No, I'm going to tell you what, I mean, Sammy really stepped it up. Gunther put on just a hell of a one of the best heel shows I've seen in forever came out of Gunther tonight. And
also with Gunther, for a lot of people who aren't familiar with his work, go back and watch him as he was Volta, as he was the Ring General Volta, running a group in WXW called the Ring Kampf with Timothy Thatcher, Ludwig Kaiser when he was Marcel Bartel.
So Steve brings up a good point. They did tell us, they did tell us at the end of the match that Gunther's 666th day as champion was the day he dropped the belt to Sami Zayn. And I started cracking up, and Rachel will attest to this. I texted right away. I'm like, what the actual fuck? That must not be his lucky number.
Nope, that's Sammy's lucky number. Little divine intervention from God. God came in on that one.
We're on a mission. God.
Yes, with no cigarettes, a quarter tank of gas, and the police following us for 12 miles.
And it's dark outside and we're wearing sunglasses.
Yep, we're fucked.
No, dude,
me and you need to do the Blues Brothers 24.
Oh God.
You in a suit, me in a suit. You're driving. I'm causing the trouble.
Wow. Okay, this is not much of a change. But getting back to what I was saying, in my honest opinion,
May I say it?
Sammy Gunther,
Match of the night.
yes, stole the fucking show tonight.
Ridiculously stole it.
Yeah. And I mean, for Sammy to finally get gold
on his own.
Nobody at ringside, nobody there. I mean,
but he was inspired walking out because Chad Gable before the turn, because we all know it's going to happen. He was like, boom, you owe me a favor, now go get him. But the one that really warmed my heart up was when Kevin looked him dead in the eyes, pushed him up against the wall, hugged him, said, now go bring home that belt.
Yeah. Now, what are the chances?
I got chills just talking about it.
I did. I saw that, and I'm like, there's the two guys that went up night one for main event WrestleMania, and they hit. Yes, I see.
The shirt I'm wearing.
El Generico. Yep.
Yeah, which was funny because Sammy during the WrestleMania kickoff came up on stage and the whole crowd's going, ole, 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 ole. He grabs the microphone, turns right to the camera and he goes, see, they didn't forget 20 years ago. I am used to hearing that. Don't quiet them anymore.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, here we go.
But no, like I said, so I really do think that was the match of the night. There was emotion. It was raw. It was in your face. It was such a great match from start to even the lead up to the entrances from start to finish. By far one of the best matches, if not the match of the night.
I will call it match of the night because the next match was Clusterfuck Central.
Yeah, I gotta agree. And the next match had the stipulation setting up for tomorrow night. The next match,
Rock and Roman win the match. Tomorrow night is Bloodline Rules against Seth fucking Rollins
and the American Nightmare,
Cody Rhodes. Now, unfortunately, Roman and The Rock won it.
Right.
So much nefarious bullshit was in this whole match. Like, I understand. You did. I was hoping for the other, but we all know.
All right. So go ahead and say your thought, and I'm gonna go on a run. Okay,
for one, since The Rock has became a board member at TKO, the language has been flying a lot.
Well, fuck a fucking duck.
Well, when Cody sits there and goes, are you going to bring it, Dwayne? Are you going to have LDS, little dick syndrome?
I love that.
I was like, what the fuck? They went there, and then tonight, you fucking counting, I'll fucking fire you.
Yeah,
The Rock to the ref. And then you've got Michael Cole and Pat McAfee and Corey Graves. Tori for his wife, because we know who's wearing the pants. Duh. But they're all like, no, fuck this. I'm pissed. This is bullshit. And I'm like,
yeah. They
didn't even allow that in the Attitude Era.
Well,
I agree with Steve. I
agree with Steve. 100% I agree with Steve.
I would love to see Roman turn face, The Rock stay heel, and one time let them two motherfuckers go at it for head of the table rights.
Okay, so obviously this match was a good back and forth match. We saw some things happen that we were looking forward to seeing. Of course, we saw the most pathetic move in all of entertainment, the people's shit bow.
Hey, I wanted to ask the referee, Chad Patton, if I need to get him a T-shirt that says "I'm this shit show supervisor."
I know, right? Steve's saying he liked The Rock as a bad guy, and I've got to agree that we haven't seen this side of The Rock since the 90s.
Since the Nation of Domination and the Corporation.
Well, we had the Nation of Domination Rock, we had corporate Rock, we had Hollywood Rock. We have not seen this level of heel work out of Rock in a long time, and everybody has seen him as like Mr. Hero in the movies, and they see him doing, he's always come back as babyface Rock. You know, oh, I'm the people's champ. Oh, I'm going to go hit the bad guy to make you feel better. To actually have him come back and,
as a douchebag,
and then do the heel turn, and not only do the heel turn, but do the heel turn almost Vince McMahon-esque.
No, to me, that was more of Ric Flair-esque. Because Rick did that kind of shit to Dusty.
Yeah, he did.
Because they were in the Omni in Atlanta. This was the night the Horsemen were starting to get built. The Russians are attacking Flair. Boom, 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 boom. Here comes Dusty. Oh, hell no, you ain't doing this. Here comes Arn and Ole. And they break Dusty's leg right there. And had to fight out of the Omni with everyone standing back to back.
Right.
Now, The Rock, when he desecrated Dusty's name,
right,
said that Cody was a joke like his father.
Right.
You know, and just mentioning Cody's dad for months, actually for a full year, because Roman kept doing it, and then The Rock was doing it. And the one time Cody brought up The Rock's family, he gets smacked in the mouth because The Rock got in his feelings. I'm sorry. You speak of my father 100 times ill, and I say something about your father once ill, and you swing on me, I'm jumping at you.
And Cody did, and Hunter grabbed him.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm sorry, protective moves aside, the people's elbow should not be protected. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dusty had a better elbow when they were laying on the ground.
Sonic elbow.
Or Abdullah the Butcher's "You're Dead" elbow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But all right, we go and let's dissect this match a little bit. You've got Rock sitting here saying, "You fucking count out and you're fucking fired." That's a Vince move.
Or a Bischoff.
Or a Bischoff move. But it's still, I am an authority figure. I'm going to flex my authority now to affect a match.
Yes.
We've seen this a million times over. Now, I'm going to throw this in on top of it. Hunter was in a separate interview away from the company earlier this week, and he was asked about it, and he goes, I really can't give away the ending. I can't give away the ending. But what I will tell you is when the movement began, with everybody out there saying they wanted Cody to go up against Roman and finish the story finally and get it right, that, you know, he was trying to figure out how to work that with Rock. And it was Rock that picked up the phone and called Hunter and said, hey, I got a really crazy idea. What if I come back as the final boss? I come back as the heel. Let me develop the character. And Hunter goes, all right, you know what? This could work. It's your idea. I don't want to damage your reputation and your job and your moneymaker. So if you think you can do it, do it.
And he's been doing great about it. Now, here's what I think could happen tomorrow night. You're going to see a whole Samoan mosh pit.
Yep.
Because you'll have Solo creeping around, you'll have Jimmy creeping around, you'll have Jay looking over Cody's shoulder, you'll have The Rock flexing his eyebrow and bouncing his man boobies, you know.
And
And
he
then
is
you'll have
carrying about a C cup now.
shit. I was thinking Double D with a twist.
Anyway,
Samoans are going to get involved. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
They all get fucked off, except for The Rock. Now The Rock's going to come in and try to fuck Cody.
We didn't even get to the end of the match yet, and to tell the match did end. Yes, Rock and Roman in a very dick move, because Cody was setting Roman up for the third of 3 crossroads. Rock hit him with that weight belt so hard that even my grandmother felt it. And then Roman hits him with the spear. Down and out for the count. Rock gets up. Roman tags into Rock. Rock bottom. Elbow. 1, 2, 3. It is Bloodline Rules tomorrow night for the Sunday night event.
This is where I think that Bloodline Rules is going to bite him in the ass. Because
it's no holds barred.
All the family, except for, as he called himself during the Hall of Fame last night, Joe.
Yeah.
He called himself by his shoot name. And Dwayne will be left. Just Cody. Everyone else is fucked off. Rock's going to go for another rock bottom, and all you're going to hear is, it's time to play the game. And Hunter's going to fight with The Rock, because they had that set up at the media scrum.
Yeah, they did. Okay, that's one prediction that could happen. I still think Hunter might be holding back because of his ticker. But he does have somebody who has finally been medically cleared. We saw this 2 years ago when he went up against KO in Dallas, who is a Hall of Famer, who is a 2-time back-to-back Royal Rumble winner, who loves to fly the bird, loves to drink beer, and has dealt with Rock at WrestleMania more times than anybody else.
You know what would be a twist to it would be also, who's out with injury right now that's going to be doing commentary tomorrow for a match?
You got it.
Who had his WrestleMania spot literally taken from him against the Taker for The Rock to go up against Cena?
Right.
Punk has been kind of getting the Samoan family for quite a while.
I would not be a bit surprised to see this erupt. Here's my prediction. And I called this yesterday when Rage and I were talking about it. I said, look, here's what I see. I don't know how it's going to unfold. I'm going to enjoy watching it unfold, and I may be wrong about how this unfolds. But night 1 is going to be Rock and Roman. I said they're going to win it. They're going to cheat to get it so they can get Bloodline Rules.
Night 2's going to Cody.
Night 2, because the whole WrestleMania story is always the same thing. Overcoming the most impossible odds you can think of, climbing the mountain and getting it. We saw the tag championships change hands and finally get split back up. We saw the women's world title remain on Rhea. We saw the IC championship change hands, and that's all we saw. And then we saw Cody get set up for failure.
Now, shall we go into tomorrow's show so we can start hammering the predictions that go with tonight's show?
You've got the card in front of you, so let's start going with it. Start with the beginning.
I don't have the card in front of me.
Oh, you had the card in front of you.
No, you had it.
I was running off of memory with like the title stuff and the big matches. All right, so we'll start with tomorrow night, WWE Women's Championship match. Io Sky and Bayley, two former members of Damage Control now facing each other. Current leader of Damage Control, and now Bayley is no longer a part of Damage Control.
Thank you for clarifying that for the listeners, because right now, Damage Control is the women's version of the old tag team from the 80s, the Oriental Express.
Right. Okay, Steve's saying his prediction is Io for that one.
I will have to concur.
Please give me a reason why.
Reason why. One, Io's going to be livid that those girls lost tonight.
Yeah.
They're going to have to reprove themselves. You know Asuka loves any chance she can get to screw Bayley over. Especially since Bayley's the reason Asuka's been out with 2 injuries. Mm-hmm. And Dakota Kai, she's just going to kick someone in the mouth, and it'll be Bayley, because they're going to set it up for women's war games. Hear me out.
You think they're thinking that far ahead?
Oh, dude, Regal's still around. They're thinking that far ahead. He was shown at Stand and Deliver this morning with a Japanese signee.
Ooh.
Yeah, her name's Julia, and she is one of the meanest of the new era of Japanese women wrestlers.
Right.
And she's violent. But anyhow, it'll be this. It'll be Dakota, Io, Asuka, and Kairi against Bayley, Jade, Naomi, and Bianca. Sorry. The new strong chick showed up for Mania, and now the former strong chicks kind of, I guarantee there will be jealousy there too.
Yeah, but War Games is usually 5-5.
Not always. Not always. They did a 3-on-3 and they did a 4-on-4.
All right. So you're calling Sky. I'm thinking that it's going to drop. I'm thinking it's dropping to Bayley, because you can only run on titles a heel and a heel for so long. You've got to go babyface with one of them. We obviously know Io is a heel. We know Rhea is a heel because of her Judgment Day ties.
I don't know. She's kind of been pushing away.
She's kind of in the hover.
Yeah, she's pushing away from Judgment Day a lot, especially since it's been heard that a certain house might be showing back up to the House of Black.
Yeah.
2 members are former WWE stars. And the third one, I ain't fucking with him. Are you fucking with Brody King?
Well, I mean, maybe if I had a chicken I could throw across the ring and he'd go eat it.
No, he's vegan.
All right, so maybe if I had a tofu that I could throw across the ring.
Get a very, very big mosh pit going and he'll be happy. And he's also lead singer. He's also lead singer of the band God's Hate.
But you follow what I'm saying is right now, currently, if you look at it, Rhea's heel, Io is heel. My logic behind it is it would drop to Bayley because Bayley's in that baby face mode. Now, the only way I could see them drop it to Bayley, kick her heel, and give Rhea the face turn would again be back to the notorious finger poke of doom.
Yeah, or She just doesn't win it at Mania and wins it at SummerSlam.
That could run that way too and build up the
Because
storyline a little bit more.
Which they do need, because it was only the Rumble when Bayley said, "Oh well, I'm going after Io." That really wasn't a lot of build up. Now Roman and Cody have had literally a full fucking year, full year. Bayley and Io. Oh, quick side note. I want to congratulate the WWE's own Shayna Baszler for finally breaking out of being just a WWE girl, going to the GCW Josh Barnett's Bloodsport and stomping out Masha Slamovich.
Hell yeah.
Friday night. Yeah, Hunter's letting the doors open.
Yes, he is. And I'm happy for that.
You know who else was at GCW Bloodsport?
No.
Charlie Dempsey.
All right.
You know whose kid that is, don't you?
Not off the top of my head.
Power the Punch.
No shit.
Yeah. Second Gen just floated in, and Hunter said, "Hey, you want to be special enforcer at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport? No one's going to fuck with you because of who you are."
Right. So, all right. So I'm leaning towards Bayley winning it because Bayley did explain right after the Rumble why she stepped away from Damage Control.
Are you wiping it down right now? Or are you?
Come take a look at what she's got.
Well, no. The reason I was asking is because I'd like to get a cigarette.
Come past. We got room for you.
Give me just a second. I'm grabbing smokes.
All right, go ahead and grab them. So, yeah, that's where I'm leaning. The next match that we are looking at for tomorrow, and I know Rage is going to weigh in on this one, and Steve, I know you are too. Tomorrow night.
Downwards, it looks fine.
Now, it is a completely different scenario for the World Heavyweight Championship match because of what happened tonight in Rock and Roman versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins are going to square off, and they are going for broke for the World Heavyweight title with the ringer CM Punk sitting at commentary tomorrow calling the whole show. Steve is right there with me. My prediction as well. I will explain my reasons why in a minute, but yes, Drew McIntyre. Rage actually has a different prediction on that one.
And I am the final boss.
Yeah.
Not even.
So,
I mean,
Seth
I wish
and Drew.
Seth and Drew. I'd love to see it be Seth, but it's going to be Drew. It'll be McIntyre.
I'm agreeing, especially after tonight, because they went after the knee. They set it up for Seth to drop the belt. But you were talking about when CM Punk gets back from injury to keep it with Seth and build up that storyline. In all honesty,
they could also build the Drew and Punk storyline from Drew saying Punk lost his Mania shot because Punk got injured. Oh, wait, it was Drew McIntyre that injured him.
Yeah. So I really think, and I think they've been already on the build for that storyline since the Rumble. So when Punk does come back, he's gunning for Drew. And
I say it could be a 3-person program.
How's that?
You got the former champ who does not like CM Punk wanting to get his belt back.
Right.
You've got Drew who does not like CM Punk or Seth Rollins holding the belt. And you got Punk who feels like he got fucked out of his opportunity with Seth or Drew in the mix.
Right.
3-person party.
I'm going to run with it from here. I think they'll build up the storyline of Drew and Punk first, because that one has really presented itself with some interesting turns. Drew drops the belt to Punk. Seth comes back after healing and says, rematch clause.
And then Drew says, rematch clause.
And then you
got your three-way party.
Right. And then Punk retains at that point because he's on because Punk is also another one that's one of these enigmas. You can get him babyface, you can get him playing heel. The roof is popping off, so he might as well just be himself.
Right, which he is at all times.
Yeah. He's definitely a Paul Heyman guy.
Every day.
But as we learned last night, Paul Heyman is a Paul Levesque guy. Of course, what he said after that, I was cracking up.
My favorite part of the Paul Heyman Hall of Fame speech.
Oh, God.
Is I'm sitting there and I'm panicking. And I'm like, how do I present myself as myself? Who do I have to talk to? Hey, Rob, you got any advice for me? Go out there and be yourself, Paul. People love you. That didn't help me too much. He was burning more trees than a California forest fire. Now I go to my son and I go, son, how do I present myself as myself? He goes, talk to Van Dam, Dad. He'll help you the whole way.
Yeah.
The most important part was when he talked to his kids.
Yeah, that was great. That was heartwarming. But I think my favorite part of that whole speech was, if any of you think that ECW died in a bankruptcy courtroom in 2001, then you can suck my fucking dick. And I'm like, EC-Dub.
I was like, oh, Canada.
Dude, when he pulled the phone out and set it down, and then he
picks it back in the head. What the fuck?
Headset.
This is real?
Yeah.
I thought I hit Sting in the head with this back when Rick Rude was going for the NWA title.
I know, right? He's like, oh my God, it's a real one. The phone.
Hey,
no, holy shit, it's a real one.
Invite my kid in on this. Nah. You okay? Heather's getting a tattoo on her foot this evening.
Oh, yay. All right, so as we continue down tomorrow's card, we're all agreeing Drew. Steve says it's because Seth is too much of a showboat. Seth needs some time off.
Yeah, his back.
His knee needs some time off.
And his shoulder.
Yeah.
If you don't think that he didn't get affected tonight in the shoulder again, right when the Rock threw him into the barricade, you seen him instantly. Boop.
Yep.
So
he's got to get the time off.
He's got to. He has to, or he's gonna be doing like Cena and Rock and heading to the movies really quick.
Right.
Because remember, Cena, his neck, his knee, his shoulder, his back, and his ribs.
Now you got to remember at the same time, Vince worked those guys over all the time. They couldn't get time off. Vince wouldn't allow it. Punk was in the same boat, and Punk says, "Do you know what? My health is more important than your company. Fuck you. I quit."
And left and got healed up for 10 years and then showed up.
Showed out.
He had a great match with Moxley.
He did.
He except for when he broke his ankle and the match got really short. I'm saying the rematch to that was fucking gorgeous. His match with Bryan Danielson.
That was great.
And I'm sorry, a lot of people think this guy's a bum, but his shit with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, he did good there too.
I'm a huge Eddie Kingston fan. I would love the WWE in this era, what we're getting now, to allow Kingston to come over.
All right, so we have covered, of course, the Io and Bayley. We've covered Drew and Seth. Next match on the card for tomorrow night that I can remember for sure is the triple threat match. Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens for the United States Championship.
Kevin taking it.
You're saying KO.
I'm 100% KO.
You're 100% on that.
100%. I'm feeling it's going to be Kevin and Sammy's singles time.
Okay, Steve is also saying Kevin.
I know who you're going for.
What are you thinking?
You're going for Randy.
I would like to see Randy get it, but Randy's also already a Grand Slam champion.
Kevin is not. That's why I think Kevin's getting it.
My instincts are telling me Logan retains.
Why? Because his shitty ass energy drink symbols all over the fucking ring now?
Well, that, and I think he's got a whole lot of taste of Rock's ass in his mouth.
And the taste of brass knuckles on his fingers.
Right. So now I would love to see KO get it or Randy get it and shut him up. But I see Logan.
But here's how I think it's going to happen. Randy's going to get Logan with the RKO. Boom. Right when Randy goes to pin him, Kevin's just running up, yeet, snatching the pinfall 1, 2, 3, setting up for a program between Randy and Kevin out of respect over the United States title.
They could, but I think Randy's going to change his mind.
And
he's going to want to go. Yeah, he's going to go after bigger fish.
No, I think right now, I think they're having Randy in the position of the United States title to help elevate Logan, Kevin, and whoever else is in that mix.
Oh, I could definitely agree with that.
To elevate, not to be a enhancement talent.
Right.
But I truly think they're getting him to elevate the other's game. Because Randy's game's flawless.
Oh, I agree.
And I still say the best 2 RKOs ever was the one he hit on Evan Bourne.
Right.
And the one he hit when old boy came flying off the when JD McDonough came flying off the cage in War Games.
All right, bear with me. I'm bringing up the card for tomorrow night.
Okay.
So that way I've got all of them here, okay? That's 9
of course.
9 2. Okay. Okay. We also have tomorrow night Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, versus the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor in a Philadelphia street fight.
In other words, AOP.
Yes.
Which their manager, if you recall, is Paul Ellering. Precious Paul Ellery.
Yeah.
That man is a sick and twisted genius.
So you got Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
Which are calling themselves the Pride now.
Right. Okay. Steve's saying Street Profits in a Philadelphia street fight. What are you calling?
I'm saying if you look at actual abilities to throw them hands, I'm saying AOP and Karrion. Carrion is a former mixed martial arts fighter. So's Bobby.
Right.
They're even. Now AOP and the Street Profits.
Not so
I'm an AOP. Huh?
Not so much.
Yeah, because I'm more of an AOP guy. And honestly, those two are. I'm sorry, they first showed up and destroyed Gargano and Ciampa. When they first showed up, they destroyed Gargano and Ciampa.
Well,
and I'm sorry.
Where I'm at with it is I can't make a call.
I'm going Final Testament.
I haven't followed this line enough to say which way I feel like, but I'll let you guys call that. You're saying Final Testament, and Steve is saying Street Profits.
The Pride.
Right. All right. We've covered that one. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
LA Knight.
You think it's LA Knight?
I think it's going to be LA Knight because he gave his redemption for whatever punishment he has gotten. Because he was just fighting against Roman Reigns for the belt and got knocked back in story.
Right.
So he got punished. So he's been eating shit. And I think they're going to finally give him the reason to go farther.
They're
going to give him the push because he's undeniable, really.
He's great, and he's been on a good roll, but I've got to go with Steve on this one, and I'm kind of leaning AJ. The Phenomenal One has not had a WrestleMania win in a couple years. He needs a flip.
LA Knight last year. He won a battle royal. Still. And that was a pre-show battle royal. That wasn't in the fucking show.
Okay, but let's look at this too. It's not very often someone wins their first match at Mania where they're on the main card.
Waller did tonight.
Huh?
Grayson Waller did tonight. Because that was his actual first match in Mania. The last couple PLEs, as they like to call them, I'll always refer to them as pay-per-views. Damn right. Grayson Waller's been doing nothing but doing the Grayson Waller effect.
Right.
He's been doing this.
He's good at that. So now I'm kind of leaning AJ to cut, but I'm leaning AJ more because I see a story building there. And I think that's going to go back and forth for a while.
You know who's not on Mania tonight or tomorrow night? And it's a shame. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. I'll give you that because he had a hell of a heel run.
Honestly, they want to push fucking Dakota out of Damage Control and make it an all Japanese faction. Have the male of the faction be Shinsuke.
Right.
It would be a beautiful thing.
That brings us to the final match on the card.
Cody
versus Cody Rhodes under Bloodline rules.
Bloodline rules is going to fuck Roman over, and Cody's going to finish his story. Because now, since the door has been opened,
right,
and Tony Khan was actually intelligent, he would cash in on this and let, I don't know, Dustin show up.
Right.
But did you see who has officially signed with the E?
Did Dustin sign over?
No, not Dustin.
Oh, who?
Who claimed to be Cody's best friend?
DiBiase?
MJF.
Oh, fuck. You do realize that's going to ignite a fire with Punk.
Punk actually likes him. Punk said it to his face. He goes, I like you. I just don't like the way you handle business.
No. Well, okay.
And that's why he tried to do the, I am a scumbag, but I'm your guys' scumbag.
Oh, MJF?
Oh, yeah. MJF was actually on a face run right before he left.
All right. Now, and Steve, you know what? You bring up a point that has been discussed a lot, and that is Priest going to cash in Money in the Bank? I think if Priest cashes in Money in the Bank, he's going to take advantage and Seth and Drew.
Let them beat the ever-living shit out of each other. And out comes Damien. Damien fucks Punk.
South of Heaven.
South of Heaven on Rollins. Shit cans Drew. 1, 2, 3.
Drew. No, I think what's going to happen is Seth drops the belt to Drew. Drew's got his WrestleMania moment finally in front of people. And then here comes Damien, Money in the Bank, South of Heaven. Drew loses the belt in 5 seconds. And then you got Punk sitting there going, ha!
Yes.
I really think that's how it's going to. That sounds like something Hunter would write.
Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. Because
he'd do it or just go from one heel to a worse one.
Because Damien has till the end of tomorrow night to cash in.
Exactly.
But I honestly think that MJF, Dustin, Diamond Dallas Page has been Cody's, right-hand man forever and a day.
Right.
I think it could end up, really screwing the bloodline being in bloodline rules.
I think with it being in bloodline rules, there's one thing that they keep forgetting is bloodline rules works both ways. So let's look at everybody that's there.
You've got Roman, The Rock, Solo, and Jimmy.
Yes, there's your 4 for bloodline. And Paul's not going to get involved.
Well, you never know. Paul's feeling that Philadelphia bug again. He might get a little.
Yeah, you're right. The Walrus might do something.
That phone is still around. But Roman made a comment at the Hall of Fame that really struck everyone.
Yeah.
The day you don't see the tribal chief with Paul Heyman, with the wise man, it will no longer be a day for the tribal chief. Paul goes, and he does to Roman like he did to Brock. He biffs him. There's that phone getting shattered. Cody gets the big ooh-ah because Paul thanks Dusty more than anyone.
Right.
And Cody gets to complete his story.
But here's
all I'm saying is bloodline rules will fuck Roman out of the belt.
I'm kind of leaning that way myself. And like I said, the thing with WrestleMania has always been overcoming insurmountable odds to achieve the goal. It was rough for Cody last year, but that was shot number 1 at it. And then he had to go through Brock. He had to go through being a tag champ. He had to go through Shinsuke. He had to go through the Royal Rumble again to get back to the mountaintop.
He had to go through literally Jimmy, Jay, and Solo.
Yeah.
He dealt with The Rock, which that's not over. You know that ain't over.
That's not over. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. You've got, if you look at the roster, just where it's at, you've got The Rock, Solo, Jimmy, Roman. There's your bloodline. Here comes Cody. You've got, on Cody's side, Sammy, KO, Jay,
I'll show you.
Seth,
if Seth is
If he
healthy enough to get out
survives.
there. And you've got the big one, Hunter.
You also got another big one, Punk.
And if they finally cleared him of any guilt and he's able to come back based on SummerSlam last year, there is one other that's in the wings that would make a huge difference, and that's Brock.
And yeah, because when him and Cody.
Right. Brock would do it, because then that would open it up for that ultimate opportunistic beast incarnate to have a shot to get that title back.
Yes, it would. So there's our predictions for tomorrow night. There's our recap of tonight. I will say this now. Stand and Deliver was a great show.
Please cover that.
I'm going to cover the important matches, the things that really grabbed me.
All right.
Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
Those two had been going back and forth since Carmelo lost the belt to Elio, and then Trick got that jump up to go after the belt.
Trick. Oh.
Sorry, I love Booker's interpretation of it. Whoop that Trick. Yeah, whoop that Trick. I like it. Whoop that Trick. Get him. To me, that hypes me up just watching it.
Right.
But Trick got the win.
Okay.
Trick got the win last night. Carmelo hit him with that final shot from the top rope. 1, 2, kick out. Carmelo went for the flash knee. Trick pushed him aside, hit the ropes, caught him with the double knees to the face. It was done. It was done. Ilya Dragunov versus the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo.
Ooh.
Very, very, very physical matchup. Ilya with the big win with the H-bomb from the top rope that literally knocked D'Angelo out. The tag team title match. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin still on top. This team, I'm telling you now, by the end of 2024, will be holding main roster tag belts. And if not, they are dropping the ball hard on Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker.
The only thing I see is the hang up on that is Baron Corbin.
He's got a new resurgence. Dude, during a match, I forget who they were working, but it was in the Dusty Cup. Baron shot off the ropes, came running at Braun. Braun lifted him up and just chucked him over. Yeah.
Damn.
Braun
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Braun
saying?
Braun did a tumbleweed off the top rope. Like, it was nasty. And their finisher, the end of days into the spear. Oh, yeah. Baron brings him down, hits that backbreaker. The minute he pulls him up, he lets go, and Braun runs through him. It is nasty. Speaking of running through people, I thought it was funny that Roman ran through The Rock tonight. Just saying.
That was fucking hilarious. Because you and I were actually watching the rest of we had a time delay between the two of us, but we were watching the rest of the match together. Yeah, obviously from 1,100 miles apart, but I was watching it here. You were watching it at home. And then you heard me where I'm like, oh, damn.
And then
don't tell me.
And then 3 seconds later, you hear me, ooh, that had to hurt.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you finally saw it?
And I was like, Spear to the Rock? He goes, Spear to the Rock. All in all, Mania tonight was one of the better Manias I've seen in years.
Absolutely. Not to pick up a line from Michael Cole, but I'm going to. I think the beginning of the Triple H era has really just blown us away. And I hope to see that same level of attitude as we proceed forward. Okay, everybody, please keep in mind that this was the first year that Hunter picked everybody for the Hall of Fame.
By himself.
This is the first year that Hunter has been completely in charge of everything with Nick Khan, setting it up, getting it ready to go.
There are plenty of fans boo-hooing and bitching that Bray Wyatt wasn't in. But there's a reason. Way too soon after his death.
Yes, absolutely.
But he put his father and his uncle in.
Yeah.
And they're both two-time Hall of Famers. Barry with the U.S. Express with Mike Rotunda.
Yep.
And the Horsemen. And Mike Rotunda just as IRS by himself. And the U.S. Express with Barry.
Right.
And honestly, in the documentary, the Bray Wyatt documentary, fuck you, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Right.
Because that's right here. And to see the emotion of Taylor Rotunda, of Bo, the just pure raw emotion.
Yeah.
And if you watch the documentary, you can see Bo sitting there looking at the pictures, tears just streaming down his face. You feel bad for him, but if Taylor has even an ounce of the creativity as Wyndham did, whatever Bo's gonna do when he comes back would be something I would worry about.
Right.
Because I guarantee he takes Bray shit and just.
Like I said, Bray Wyatt was one of the more difficult.
Just 1 second. Hey, tell him after this podcast I will be calling him.
Yeah, we're almost wrapped up. But
yeah, we're almost wrapped.
Bray Wyatt was one of the more difficult characters for me to really get my head around. But when I did, and I really got on board with what he was doing and how and why, and I really started enjoying it. I mean, this was still back with the Eater of Worlds.
Harper and Rowan?
Yeah, Harper and Rowan, and
to be honest,
Roman.
App is it streaming from?
What, Mania? Peacock.
You.
StreamYard, but we're almost done.
StreamYard?
StreamYard.
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube.
It's what?
It's on Facebook and YouTube, but we're about wrapped up.
But they're about wrapped up.
Yeah, like another minute and we're done.
Yeah, because I've got to be up early to take a student to go test tomorrow.
And I got to prepare for night 2.
And we've got night 2. And I've got another show, Mayhem's Amigos, on at 4 p.m. tomorrow before night 2. So I've got a busy fucking day.
Which TJ will be there at 4 p.m. I will actually be there 2 days in a row.
How'd that work?
The fuck?
I know, right?
How's this going on? Oh, by the way, everyone follow the independent wrestler Gavin Alexander. He's trying to take over the world. Look him up. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You won't be disappointed. Sorry, cheap plug.
Not in the toilet.
Yeah, not in the toilet.
Right,
or in a car wash with wax and hot water hitting me.
Oh, God. All right. So, everyone, again, thank you for tuning in and listening. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Steve, thank you for commenting in the chat room and keeping that going. I appreciate it. It was a big help. And I will see everybody. Well, we'll see everybody tomorrow at 4 for Mayhem's Amigos. And then immediately after night 2, Rage and I will be back again tomorrow night for the night 2 recap, what our thoughts are of WrestleMania 40 as a whole.
You don't know who will show up with us.
Yeah, you never do.
Because I have a lot of friends.
I might even eat a steak.
You know what? I think tomorrow might be lasagna or stuffed pepper night.
Dude, I've still got, and real quick before we wrap it up, like I said, steaks that thick. I'm not kidding. And when I was cooking them, Steve, when I was cooking those steaks, they didn't shrink down. That's true Texas beef. All right, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Wish my students luck tomorrow in their testing, and I will give everybody an update at 4. WrestleMania night 2 tomorrow night, and then our recap right after the show is over. Have a good night. Thank you for sticking with us. See you tomorrow.
And everyone,